Tocchet left.
Yeah. Well, we just did the video. We did a video.
Well, now and Zach's dropped it.
More.
Yeah, there's more information coming out every week, pretty much. Tocchet now, he's gone. It's over. End of an era.
JR, he can't get a hold of Quinn Hughes. No. He's on the golf course. He doesn't know what to do.
Well, I hope he's playing golf because he usually returns my calls right away, and I called him within half an hour after I talked to Rick. So he hasn't called me back yet.
He doesn't know what to do now, and
Matt wants to break 70. Right? He wants to break 70. That's why. Right? Let the man play.
This Tocchet thing is so weird though, because with him leaving, he's kind of like, there's so many reasons for him to leave. The contract. Even though the Canucks apparently paid him a lot, they would have made him one of the top 5 highest paid coaches in the league.
Apparently, someone who doesn't even have a ring. So.
Yeah, and that was enough for him. And playing in Vancouver, coaching in Vancouver over coaching the East Coast was another thing. Which was his agent said too. He's like he wants to go back to East Coast, coach over there instead for family reasons and stuff. Which I get makes sense. That's probably the only one I'll understand. The money, I feel like the top 5 is good enough. And then I guess he was probably exhausted with the season and the situation with the team.
Well, the thing with, I actually wanted him to stay as a coach because I just wanted stability, right? It hasn't been what we had. Pat Quinn for a little bit, and then Mark Crawford.
You're going all the way back to Pat Quinn.
Yeah. That hasn't been
Mike Keenan, Mark Crawford, and then
everyone at home get ready for a 30-year history now.
Yeah. We've been that unstable for all these years.
Right. We even knew how to get 7-year run.
Exactly. And there were in the past 30 years, we had Pat Quinn, Mark Crawford, and Vigneault as the mainstays, right?
Yeah.
It's just been a couple years run and done. And that's why I'm like, okay, at least Tocchet can have a little runway, but he always talks about me pressure with pressure, and it looks like he walked after pressure. So
oh wow,
I agree with that.
He could handle it.
I agree with that.
You're in agreement.
Just he's in bars right now.
Because for somebody who talked a lot, talked a lot of shit about how if you're one of those players, you got to be prepared, you got to be ready, and you kind of just gotta. Yeah, be pressure with pressure, what Juthi said. Yeah. And the pressure kind of broke him. I feel like it broke him this season. He's
all talk.
He can handle it.
It's easy to talk shit when you're coaching Arizona, right? When nobody's paying attention. It's easy to be a losing team there, but when you're in a media market that's going to be on your ass every week, it's hard. Pressure gets to you.
Exactly. It's easy when you have, when you're assistant, when you have Crosby, Malkin, Tang Fleury, and everybody else.
All this leadership, and then we hear where you have a dysfunctional group already. That you're supposed to come in and fix. That was his original job, to fix the whole dysfunction in the locker room and be a big part of that. But then, he tried to fix it, I guess. He added more to the dysfunction there. He kind of broke it. Well, I'm pretty sure JT Miller leaving hurt him too, right?
Definitely. In his defense, guys, I see what you guys are trying to say, but the Canucks are barely an NHL caliber team anymore. They're more of an AHL caliber team. If you're a coach who's a hot commodity, wouldn't you want to go to greener pastures? Philip Hedl, who knows what's going to happen to him? Yeah. You only got one top line center, and that's about it, and Quinn Hughes.
Yeah,
but not still, really
that paycheck. That's not going to keep you seeing.
You don't think he's going to get that money from somewhere else?
Rangers,
the Rangers.
No, Rangers.
Rangers going after
Sullivan. I'll take Sullivan over Tocchet too.
Yeah, I would take Sullivan's number one. I think Sullivan's number one. And if Sertaj says, Sertaj mentioned in the group today that if John Cooper goes, I think John Cooper's number one, and then Sullivan's number 2. 100%. So then he's number 3 on the list.
I wonder if John Cooper comes to Vancouver.
He's from BC, so
I can see that because he'd be a great coach for this team too. With PD especially, he's a good player coach. And he's a pretty good
system and everything like that. It's always about dump and chase. And,
exactly. And I think that would favor this group at least. Because, Philip Hedl, if he's healthy, he's good, I feel like. But maybe not even on a contending team, he's not a second line
as long as he can be a 3C, and then you have go and trade somebody because Rutherford is always talking about how they're going to trade in the market for some forward help instead of the free agency. So who are you going to trade? Is that going to be maybe Willander? We'll see. But I just think in general, if you're Cooper, so the money's not the problem, right? And so I think Cooper would actually be a good fit, like you're saying, with this.
Sorry, Razak, but the question becomes: is Cooper? You think it's a high plausibility that he gets let go to charge?
That's what they're saying. Because if it's another first round exit for them,
I don't blame them.
They're not going to really do. They're not going to break down that roster. I don't think they're going to get rid of half those guys.
It's not his fault. They just probably need a different voice.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
So it's kind of run his course.
Could be that, or it could be Brisbois not doing his job properly with the team either, right?
Yeah.
Because the blue line's okay. Right, they have a few good guys like Hedman, McDonough, and Cernak. Those guys been around for a while, in and out. I mean, McDonough came back after a while, but the rest of the blue line, I just don't know who's that good on that group. The other 2 guys.
In terms of the talent, I think Cooper's gotten the most out of what he can get out of Tampa Bay. Yeah. They got a bad draw right now. They're playing Florida. They played Florida the last couple of years here and there. So I don't know. Can you guys point to like a playoff loss, or
probably
a year?
Kucherov when he benched his ass.
Oh, you think so?
Kucherov's probably like, I have this shit anymore, huh? First of all, you're taking all these other guys over me. Team Canada. I got Canadian citizenship now. I with my ass. No love out here.
It probably is time for a change though. For maybe it's not. I don't know. Because like, what are you gonna do next for Tampa Bay if you don't let Cooper go?
Exactly, Sertaj. I think they'd barely be a playoff team if Cooper's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not as potent as they were when they won those Stanley Cups.
Unless they bring in Tocchet. There you go. Swap coaches.
I think Tocchet would get exposed.
If Tocchet comes in, Kucherov's gonna be real pissed. You want me to dump it, Jace? What the hell is this shit?
I think Tocchet would get exposed if he went somewhere there. He has to
Yeah.
consider, because he's still relatively young, he'd probably have a great chance of a long coaching career. His next move is going to be quite interesting, considering, like you're saying, Sertaj, Mike Sullivan, some of these other names on the market.
Yeah.
Big names too, right? So I think he goes to Philly, if anything.
We did talk about this a bunch of times, but I think Sertaj was right when he said they got to go younger in coaching. You got to get a younger guy for this team.
Manny Malhotra?
Yeah, Manny Malhotra. It has to just be young, someone younger in general. Manny Malhotra just seems like the most likely type, since especially you're going to be calling up people from Abbotsford to be on this team. You might as well have him as a coach because he knows the personnel. So you might as well just have him as your head coach. Might as well take the risk. Might as well make this Sheldon Keefe kind of situation over here. Remember, for years they talked about how Sheldon Keefe was supposed to be the guy, even though they fired him two seasons later. But I think that it might be the best chance for them right now.
It's such a weird situation for the Canucks too, because they've had so many coaches over the last 10 years. Yeah. And Tocchet obviously was the best one, right? Like he got the most out of the worst players of the Canucks. The only person that he didn't play well under him was Pettersson for like a year and a half, I think. But then if you go young, that's the one thing. Like if a young coach comes in, can he get the best out of the worst players on the team? Well, that's the biggest question.
I think they could look at Washington, Cranberry, Curry. He's young, and he got Ovechkin and all these guys playing at a high level, right? So I just think it's the message that he delivers, and I think everybody will listen to Malhotra, who's a first-round pick. He has experience in the league, went to the Cup final, and he's gone through adversity. He's gone through the ups and downs. So I think he would actually be a good voice in that locker room.
I think it just comes down to the two top guys. If they buy in, you gotta step in line. If Quinn agrees with the coaching decision and Pettersson decides with the coaching decision, it doesn't matter what the rest of the guys think. That's your coach now.
Well, those are the only two guys on the team, to be frank. It's not like they're fielding a great NHL team. I don't mind that Sertaj Malhotra or someone young, because I don't think this next season, unless they make like 4 or 5 roster changes, like they're going to be really competing. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like not a rebuilding year, but a year building for the future. A retool year. Yeah. You build for the year after, or the year after that.
None of this.
So I don't think you're going to get a top market guy to buy in, like a veteran coach. Yeah. So you want someone young, and I think it's good for building. But if you're the Canucks,
you need to win next year, because Quinn Hughes' contract's up in 2 years, and if you don't put up a winning season, this guy's probably out.
I get a winning season, but not like a contender season. You know what I mean?
Like, something like that.
Show promise, right?
I don't even think he needs a promise, because he's already seen 5 years of potential. Oh, he might be a playoff team at some point, but he's already seen that at this point. I'm pretty sure Quinn Hughes wants to win, at least be in the playoffs, get to the second round at the very least.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Or even contend for the cup, right?
But that's where Jim Rutherford's great plan comes in, right? He's going to get both the Hughes brothers, right? He already got the promo. Right. He already tanked his own deal right away by giving everybody the leverage. Like, I'm only going for the Hughes. And so
why would you even want the Hughes brothers? Look what happened to New Jersey, for crying out loud.
You're for Nico Hischier, that's a different thing. I'll take Nico Hischier.
Right.
Nico Hischier would be perfect second line center. I'll take him all day. But I don't think, I think they have to contend, or at least attempt to contend next year, because that's what Hughes is ready to contend. He's not going to sit around another losing year, waste of his prime. He's playing with some of the best hockey we've seen in the city.
If they're a playoff team, though, I think you think that would be enough. Like, let's say Malhotra comes in, they get around 9,500 points, 8 or 7 seed in the West. Sure, whatever, they don't make a run, but the year after, then they recoup assets, and then they become like a formidable force. Right. Because Quinn's got to be realistic, right? You got to look at this roster.
Yeah.
Unless they sign everyone in free agency, how are they going to make it work? How are they going to turn into a contender overnight? Yeah. Especially in the West, even in teams in their own division, they're improving pretty fast. The young teams, San Jose, Anaheim, they're getting better, and then you have Edmonton to deal with.
You know what? I don't think the coaching thing is a problem. I think it's a management problem.
Starts from the top.
I don't even say management. I think it's ownership.
Ownership's been a problem for a long time.
Ownership's gonna be ownership, right? But management came in giving these lofty ideas like, we'll work with ownership. We'll get them to see our way. Jim's been talking all that shit on cutting him promo to left and right. I feel like he's more of a problem than Rick Tocchet was, than Pedersen was. This guy's like, even Alvin, he's like throwing everybody under the bus by himself.
Was there really no interest in him in that range, like a potential first-round pick and those kinds of...
If I told you what I was offered for Brock Besser, I think I would have to run out of here because you would not believe me.
Really? Yeah, okay.
Like, what are we doing? You were the one who constructed this roster. Who are you to give a shit? Who are you to hate on, man? You're giving up leverage on JT Miller right away. You're giving leverage on everybody away. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Can't hate on himself. He's got to hate on somebody.
Plausible deniability. I'm not going to take responsibility. What are you talking about here? That's what management's all about. They're following the roots of Michael Scott.
100%. You know what? And I can't blame him because, like, they give Chris Drury, this dumbass, another extension in New York for making the team even worse than they were the year before. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't know what's going on with these NHL owners.
Rutherford makes no sense too, because half the shit he says to the media, it's like okay, I guess it probably works in Pittsburgh, works in Carolina, where you can say stupid things, it doesn't catch on with anybody, nobody's gonna care. You come to Vancouver, it's a Canadian market, you want this challenge, you gotta know how to approach it. At least you're 70 years old, you've been in the league for so long now, you know how like Canadian teams markets are, you've seen it like from afar. At least have some idea and not be a dumbass about it.
You know what? Just like down on your players every single chance you get. Or evaluating Besser. Okay, how long have you been evaluating him? Like, and they're just like dogging every single player, like Hoglander this, Pedersen this, that. Like, if you're a player, why the hell would you want to stay here anyways?
And they lose leverage doing that shit too. Like if you're trying to trade one of these guys, nobody's gonna take it. They're like, oh, you guys think he's worthless too yourself. If you didn't think they were worthless, you wouldn't have said all this shit.
These old heads learn real quickly what a Canadian market is. Like Ken Holland, he learned real quickly what a real Canadian market is when he came to Edmonton and he had McDavid. He had to contend with McDavid every year. But I think that's like the problem is that these old head thinks they think it is like Pittsburgh. They think it's like Carolina. Yeah. They can get away with that, like saying that shit. Because nobody's gonna read the paper and be like, oh, what's his name? What's his name? Kyle Dubas. He said all that. He fired Mike Sullivan. They're like, did you call Crosby? And they made a story out of it. Nobody cared.
Kyle, how does Sid feel about this? Because he is notoriously abhorrent to change.
I'm not going to speak for Sid, Mark. Like, he's.
Fair question.
I'm not disputing whether it's fair or not. I'm just when we go through and make coaching changes or any changes in the organization, I have to do what I think is best for the organization.
Nobody's gonna care, right? But if you did that a year, it's already a story that he didn't call Quinn Hughes. I could reach him.
The interesting thing is when JR and Levin got brought in, like for the first little while, I guess the first half of their tenure, you didn't hear much from them. Not too many promos, sure promos here and there, but like they did keep it to things close to the vest and didn't really disclose things. But this last year in particular, including now with their off-season meetings and everything like that, they just refuse to act like they don't know what they're doing, right? Like you said, a 70-year-old man, he's been in the league for how many years? And he's been here for like a 2-3 year period now. It's not like you're just arriving in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. Outside of Malhotra, have you heard any other names? Any other coaching?
I think it's a short list, but they haven't really said who. Sullivan's not coming here either because he's like East Coast too. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like Malhotra, maybe John Cooper, those are the only guys I can think of. I don't know if any other coach has been...
Jared Glant?
Maybe?
I don't know. I don't think he'd work for this. I think he'd be the opposite of what they need for this franchise right now. He'd be just as like talking too hard on Pedersen, and Pedersen probably hate it. But he does let his players play the style that they want to play.
Who's that? The old Edmonton Oilers coach?
Jay Woodcroft.
Yeah, Woodcroft.
Oh, no,
Woodcroft.
No.
I don't want to be there. If you can't do good under
you know what they should do?
I don't want you around here.
They should hire McDavid's like a high school coach or whatever. And hopefully they can sign McDavid.
The Oilers already did that. The Oilers already did that.
No, but this guy might get fired now. They don't win the cup, so you might as well hire the next guy. Like, hey, we got your boy, come through.
Dave, you mentioned Laviolette, but I think he's going to stay in the East as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him either if I was Canucks.
I could see Canucks going after Lavi though.
Same.
If he's if he's interested. A name, I guess. I can't think of anyone else on the market right now, like an older coach who's available.
John Torrell, you want to bring him back around too? Let's go.
AV?
AV?
I can see AV coming back.
But AV's going to be pushing 65 now, right?
So. I think AV and talking on the same age.
You know what? Bring some Carrion back. Carrion and AV head coach and assistant coach. You know, maybe bring back chaos.
Well, that does it for this video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know who you think the next Canucks coach will be. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.